Assalamualaikum. Today we will discuss to you about the climate change. I am Norshamay Dinono from BEd 1A and I'm with Baytayan Kawinan. So when we say climate is the average weather conditions of a given place or weather over a long period of time. Climate changes is the changes in the usually weather found in a place. This could be changes in how much rain a usually places gets in a year, or it could be a changes in a place's usually temperature for a month or season. So climate change may be due to the natural processes such as in the sun's radiation, volcanoes, or internal variability in the climate system, or due to human influences such as changes in the composition of the atmosphere or land use. Climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperature and weather pattern. These shifts may be natural, such as through variation in the solar cycle. Human activities have been the main driver of climate change, primarily due to burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas. Climate change has already had observable effects on the environment. Glaciers have shrunk, ice on rivers and lakes is breaking up earlier. Plants and animal ranges have shifted and trees are flowering sooner. So, let's proceed to Baytayan's report.
Assalamualaikum and good day to each and everyone, especially to our dear teacher. I am Baytayan Ibad Kawilan from BEd 1A and I am the second reporter, and my partner just explained what is climate change, and now it's my turn to discuss some of the causes and effects of climate change. So the first main cause of climate change is the well-known greenhouse gases effect. So what is greenhouse gases? So greenhouse gases is the gases from the atmosphere that act like a blanket around the earth, trapping the heat from the sun to raise up, and thanks to this effect, the earth just have the right average temperature unlike the other planets. Because little greenhouse gases to the earth is a good thing to have, but the large greenhouse effect can cause a lot of energy that might stay in our atmosphere and heat up the earth more. However, if the greenhouse effect become too strong, it start to cause issues, and this is probably because of some of the human activities. Number 2 is manufacturing goods. So, human activities from pollution are driving up the temperature of the earth and fundamentally changing the world around us. So, human activities like manufacturing operations that are most likely to be affected by climate change regulations are those that result in significant direct greenhouse gas emissions, GHG, such as cement, iron, and steel production, as well as those that are highly energy intensive, such as paper and chemical operations. So toxic materials and gases are burned and released into the atmospheres. So factors alone are responsible for nearly 2/3 of the emission to blame for global climate change. Number 3 is cutting down forests. So forests still cover about 30% of world's land area, but they are disappearing at an alarming rate. The world has lost 420 million hectares, or about 1 billion acres of forest. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, mainly in Africa and South America, about 17% of the Amazonian rainforest has been destroyed over the past 50 years. In terms of of climate change, cutting trees both adds carbon dioxide to the air and removes the ability to absorb existing carbon dioxide. Number 4 is using transportation. So most cars, lorries, ships, and planes run on fossil fuels. That makes transportation a major contributor of greenhouse gases, especially carbon dioxide emissions. Road vehicle account for the largest part, but emission from ships and planes continue to grow. Transportation system contribute to degraded air quality as well as a changing climate. So, transportation also lead to noise pollution, water pollution, and affects ecosystem. Primarily came from burning fossil fuels for our cars, trucks, ships, trains, and planes. 5 is generating power. Generating electricity and heat by burning fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas causes a large chunk of global emissions. Most electricity is still produced from fossil fuels. Only about a quarter comes from wind, solar, and other renewable sources. Next is the effects of climate change. Number 1, hot temperature. Nearly all land areas are seeing more hot days and heat waves. 2020 was one of the hottest years on record. Higher temperatures increase heat-related illness and can make it more difficult to work and move around. Wildfires start more easily and spread more rapidly when conditions are hotter. And hot temperatures can also lead to a chain reaction of the other change around the world. That's because increasing air temperature also affect the ocean, weather patterns, snow, and ice. Like melting ice is bad news for several reasons. Meltwater from the ice sheet and glaciers flows into the ocean, causing sea levels to rise. Number 2 is more severe storm. Change in temperature cause change in rainfall. This result in more severe and frequent storm. They cause flooding and landslide, destroying homes and communities and costing billions of funds. Number 3, loss of species. Climate change poses risks to the survival of species on land and in the ocean. These risks increase as temperature climb. Forest fire, extreme weather, and invasive pests and disease are among many threats. Some species will be able to relocate and survive, but others will not. Number 4, more health risks. Changing weather patterns are expanding diseases such as malaria. Extreme weather events increase disease and death and make it difficult for healthcare system to keep up. Other risks to health include increased hunger and poor nutrition in places where people cannot grow or find sufficient food.
So, the best way to prevent climate change, instead of becoming more independent, we need to reduce our dependence on fossil fuels and electricity right away. Opt for eco-friendly options like solar energy and wind power. Take up the habit of recycling and reusing. Do not throw away things, instead learn to reuse them properly. So that's all our report, and we hope that you've learned a lot about climate change, and thank you for watching.